Some people inspire loyalty that defies logic. People defend them even when they're clearly wrong. People stay committed even when they're being hurt. People sacrifice everything for someone who gives them nothing back. And you wonder how they do it. How they create that level of blind, unwavering devotion. There's a formula, a dark psychology formula that cult leaders, manipulative partners, and toxic leaders use to create loyalty so deep that people will ignore their own well-being to maintain it. And once you see the formula, you'll recognize it everywhere. Let me break down the exact steps that turn normal people into blindly loyal followers. Step 1. Create a shared identity. You don't just build a relationship with someone. You build a new version of them that only exists in relation to you. You create an us, a special bond, a connection that feels unique and irreplaceable. You use language like we re, not like other people, or nobody else understands what we have, or we re a family. You make them feel like being connected to you isn't just a relationship. It's an identity, part of who they are. Research on group psychology shows that once someone's identity becomes fused with a group or person, they'll defend that connection even at personal cost. Because attacking the connection feels like attacking themselves. Cults do this immediately. They give you a new name, new clothes, new beliefs. The old you disappears. The cult version of you is who you become, and leaving means destroying your identity. Manipulative partners do this too. They make the relationship your whole world. Your friends disappear. Your hobbies disappear. Everything becomes about the relationship, and leaving feels like losing yourself, not just losing them. Step 2. Intermittent reinforcement of worthiness. You don't make them feel valued consistently. You make them feel valued randomly. Sometimes they're special. Sometimes they're disappointing. Sometimes they're your favorite. Sometimes they're barely acknowledged. This creates an addiction to earning your approval. They never know when they'll get it, so they're always trying, always performing, always hoping this time they'll be good enough to secure your consistent validation. Studies show intermittent reinforcement creates stronger behavioral patterns than consistent reward. When approval is random, people work harder for it and become more emotionally dependent on the source. Step 3. Controlled vulnerability. You share something painful, something real, a trauma, a fear, a secret, and you make them feel like they're the only person you trust with it, like they've been given access nobody else has. This creates obligation. They feel responsible for you now, like they can't abandon you because you trusted them with something sacred. And if they even think about leaving, they're the bad guy who betrayed your trust. Research on reciprocal disclosure shows that sharing vulnerability creates bonding. But when that vulnerability is strategic, when it's designed to create obligation rather than genuine connection, it becomes a trap. Step 4. Establish an enemy. You create a common threat. Something or someone outside the relationship that's against you both. Could be family members who don't understand, society that's judging you, other people who are jealous, an external force that wants to destroy what you have. This does two things. It intensifies the bond through shared adversity, and it makes leaving feel like betrayal. Because if they leave, they're joining the enemy. They're proving the outsider's right. Cult leaders do this explicitly. The outside world is evil. Only we understand the truth. Anyone who leaves is corrupted by darkness. The enemy isn't just outside. It's anyone who questions loyalty. Step 5. Make loyalty the highest value. You frame questioning, boundaries, or independence as disloyalty. You make it clear that the ultimate virtue is unwavering commitment, not truth, not personal well-being, not individual thought. Loyalty above everything. This reframes abuse as a test. If they complain about how you treat them, they're being disloyal. If they have needs that conflict with yours, they're being selfish. If they consider leaving, they're betraying everything you built together. Research on authoritarian relationships shows that once loyalty becomes the measuring stick for all behavior, people will tolerate enormous harm to prove they're loyal. Because being disloyal, even to someone hurting them, violates their core identity. Step 6. Create sacrifice. Make them give something up for you. Time, money, other relationships, opportunities. The bigger the sacrifice, the more committed they become. Not because they love you more, because humans justify their sacrifices by increasing the value of what they sacrificed for. This is called effort justification. If someone gives up their career for you, they have to believe you're worth it. Otherwise, they wasted their career. So they convince themselves you're worth it. They double down on loyalty to avoid facing the possibility that the sacrifice was a mistake. Studies show people become more committed to things they've suffered for, not less. The pain doesn't push them away, it locks them in. Put all 6 steps together and you have the formula for blind loyalty. Shared identity, intermittent approval, strategic vulnerability, external enemy, loyalty as supreme value, forced sacrifice. This isn't love. This isn't healthy leadership. This is psychological manipulation that creates dependency, disguised as devotion. And it works. That's why it's dark. That's why cult leaders use it. Why abusive partners use it. Why toxic bosses use it. You can spot it by watching for the pattern. If someone's making you prove loyalty constantly, isolating you from outside perspectives, positioning themselves as the only person who truly values you, creating on you us versus them mentality, that's not love. That's the formula. And if you're thinking about using this formula yourself, understand what you're creating, not genuine loyalty. Trapped people who can't leave, not because they want to stay, but because you've made leaving psychologically impossible. That's not power, that's prison. Real loyalty doesn't need a formula. It comes from consistent respect, genuine care, and the freedom to leave. When someone can walk away anytime and chooses to stay, that's loyalty. Everything else is just control dressed up as connection.